You're avoiding the question.
Remember how there were military helicopters going over?
You're
Like
avoiding my question.
in-
How long did you go without being around people?
Maybe a couple of months or something like that, you know.
How many months?
Like, well, couples 2, a few is 3 or more. Maybe it was 3. Yeah.
You sure it wasn't more?
Well, then I started doing the van thing, so there was nobody where I was going anyway, so I had an excuse, you know.
Right.
I was on a
But
camping
it's
trip.
still being with no people. How long were you with no people then?
Yeah, I mean, it was a few months for sure. I'm not, I mean, it
But all
wasn't.
told, how many months do you think you spent of that year without being around people?
Well, first of all, one thing that's interesting about it is I happened to be single at
Are you
the
a
time.
lawyer? The way you're answering these questions are like a goddamn lawyer.
Well, it's a bit.
How long?
It is a bit embarrassing, I guess, to think that I was
No, it's
isolated. But I also found it kind of fun.
Right, but how long?
Like it was about 3 or 4 months or something like that.
But then the van.
The
You
van.
weren't around people then too.
No, but that
That's
was
isolation too.
yeah, and that was more like I was enjoying going out into nature by myself and.
But
making
you were
videos.
still by yourself with no people for how
But
long?
I'd go for a couple of weeks and I'd go back to LA and I'd be in LA and
and
then
you would be around people.
I'd recharge a bit. I'd be around people a little bit and then I'd go back out again and then as things died down as they did, you know, I started being around people like everybody else.
I couldn't imagine going months without being around people.
Well, the thing that was weird about it was you know, I'm not married. I was single. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. So like I actually
no responsibility, true freedom.
That's what made it weird was I could imagine if I had a girlfriend at the time, we just say, okay, we're going to isolate together. And now you're just with your significant other. Here I was, okay, I'm going to isolate and I don't have a significant other at the time. So it was like actually the first time where I've ever had this sort of self-imposed or whatever, maybe it was imposed on us, you know, or I took it as an opportunity to be by myself and go out and make videos in the desert and go to these really crazy remote places. And I would seek out places where there wasn't going to be other vans and other people. But when you were out in the desert, a lot of times you'd go to somewhere and there'd be other people out in their vans and you'd hang out and have beers with people out in the desert and hang out and then you'd go think of a more remote place. And I started discovering some amazing places like that, you know, the rabbit hole you go down when you know, COVID aside, isolation aside, just going out into the American Southwest in a camper van that's self-sufficient is pretty wild.